Hello and welcome to Take 5 for Houston Real Estate. Buying, selling, renting, and financing tips from the pros. Hello, Becky.
Yes,
Hey, how are you today?
I'm doing great.
Good. Well, thanks for taking the time to be on the podcast today on Take 5 for Houston Real Estate. I have Becky Davis. She is with the Bayou City Life Group at Compass Realty here in Houston. And I've been getting her weekly newsletter for a while, and it's really creative. And so I'd like to have her talk a little bit about her role in the real estate world in Houston. So, Becky, why don't you start by just kind of giving us an update on how you got in the business and a little bit about what you're doing now and the newsletter that you send out every Sunday.
Great. Well, thanks, Owen. I appreciate you having me on today.
Sure.
So I have been in the real estate business for a little over 5 years now. And prior to that, my husband and I published Bayou City Magazine, and I served as the editor-in-chief.
Hmm.
And the real estate is kind of an extension of that. Although we're no longer publishing the magazine, our magazine really focused on experiences. And that's the great thing about real estate. It's about experiences, it's about lifestyle, and we're able to take the information and what we learned about the community and use that in our real estate business.
Hmm. And you concentrate on what parts of Houston?
We focus primarily on close-in neighborhoods,
Hmm.
such as the Heights, Montrose, Bel Air, Memorial, Westview. However, we have lived in the Heights for about 30 years. And so that's where I focus my weekly email
Hmm.
newsletter called Becky's Best Bungalow Bets. The Heights has such a rich architectural history that I'm really able to um, show people the
Hmm.
diversity of
Hmm.
both the housing styles, prices, et cetera, within a neighborhood.
Yes, and I religiously open it every Sunday and kind of scroll through, even though I'm not in the market for a house. But a lot of the houses that you kind of feature and you describe are some of the older ones in the Heights, and then you've also got some of the newer ones on. So I think it's really a well thought out marketing piece and just very informational too. So I think that's kudos to you. How long does that take you to put that together each week?
Oh, it's a labor of love. It takes me about 8 hours to do the research, and because I tried to not only just find the most interesting new listings for the week, I usually choose 5 or 6 new listings, things that have come on, different styles of houses, different areas within the Heights, since we have different neighborhoods and different
Mhm.
historic districts within the Heights. And so sourcing that, but as well bringing information to my readers about things that are happening in the Heights or things to be aware of, giving them a
Mhm.
little bit of information as well as education
Yeah.
about the Heights.
And you're not just, promoting your listings or anything like that. You're anything that's available goes. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Right.
I wish they were all my listings, but they're not. I'm sourcing different agents throughout. Anybody who has a listing in the Heights is
Right.
obviously a potential for Becky's Best Bungalow Bets, because I really am trying to find properties that will interest a wide swath of my
Right.
for my readers.
Right. And if somebody wants to get on that newsletter list, what's the best way to do that?
Well, go out to Becky's Best. You can just Google Becky's Best Bungalow Bets, and
Hmm.
that should pop up. And there's a link right there. But our website is BayouCityLife.com, and you can go out there, and there's a section for Becky's Best Bungalow Bets as well.
Okay. Great. So I assume you're working with listings and with buyers. Do you have what would be some tips or trends that you see uh, currently in the market?
Well, of course, for my sellers, the key is getting is is being a minimalist
Mhm.
in terms of your house and getting it ready to sell. Of course, white. Everybody loves white these days. That's of course the big trend,
Mhm.
and that's continuing on. And expect that to continue, as people want to be able to put their own stamp on a home and put their own artwork, and it's just easier with the neutral palettes out there.
Mm-hmm.
As far as buyers right now, it's still pretty much a seller's market. Inventory is low, and but people are still being very selective about their homes.
So by being a minimalist, you mean put your stuff in storage?
Exactly. That's one of the first things I do suggest as people get ready, is they're probably going to need a little bit of off-site storage to consolidate some of their things, move it out, and make the house look as inviting as possible, with as few mementos and things that kind of just take the focus away from the house itself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Interesting. And so for buyers, what with it being a seller's market, what would you?
You need to be prepared if you are in the market, and when inventory is low, because the best homes that come on the market that are at good prices are going to sell very quickly. So having a pre-approval letter from a lender is key, because you can't submit a contract without that. So that's the first thing I suggest people, not only to have that in hand, but also so that people know what they're looking for, and so that they're targeting the right price point.
Right. Yeah, I've had several times in the past where people don't want to do that pre-approval letter, and then they miss out on the property, or we uncover something at the last second that we could have uncovered months ago and solved. So I'm with you there. Whether it's me or some other lender, let's let somebody pull your credit and find out if there is anything in that closet like a skeleton. So um,
Absolutely.
well, Becky, I enjoy the time with you as always, and I certainly enjoy that newsletter. What's the best way someone to get a hold of you besides the newsletter?
Well, I am Becky at BayouCityLife.com is my email address. My phone number is 832-628-8221. Would love
Great.
to hear from you.
All right, great. Thanks so much, Becky, and we'll talk to you again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.